we need major reforms in the way green clearances are given in our country. Though there is this major propaganda done by industry that green clearances are stalling all the growth, well, the facts are otherwise. In fact, if you look at the statistics of green clearances for the past 6 years, you will find that 99% of all projects are given environmental clearance, and 94% of all the projects are given forest clearances. And therefore, clearances are not a problem. In fact, clearances are a problem for environment and not for growth. We are giving clearances without considering the impact it will have on the communities, it will have on the ecosystem. And that is why we have places like Bellary, where so much of illegality and environmental destruction has happened because of the way environmental clearances have been given to iron ore mines. Similar is the case with Goa and as well as in Orissa. And if you go to all the major coal mining belts of India, you find that they all are critically polluted areas. So we need major reforms in the way we grant green clearances. Now we are suggesting 4-point formula for this government. The first is that there is too many multiplicity of clearances. We have environment clearance, we have forest clearance, we have wildlife clearance, we have coastal clearances, then you have clearances given by state pollution control boards. So the multiplicity is actually harming the environment. It is also leading to unaccountability and lack of transparency in the way these clearances are granted. So our first suggestion is that we need to reduce multiplicity and consolidate these clearances. How do we consolidate? There should be one report based on which these clearances should be granted. And then there should be one authority who in the end should be accountable for these clearances. Right now, no one is accountable. And even if major problems happens post clearances, there is no one who can be held accountable in the present dispensation. So we need one document, consolidation of clearances, and one agency to do these clearances. Our second suggestion is that we need to bring all other institutions together. Today there is a huge fragmentation of institutions. We have state pollution control boards who have nothing to do with green clearances. And you have clearances granted by State Pollution Control Board, which has nothing to do with clearances granted by Ministry of Environment and Forest. And therefore, we need synergy and we need to remove these fragmentation. And our suggestion is that we must include the process and procedures of Ministry of Environment and Forest, which is under Environmental Protection Act, and process and procedures of the State Pollution Control Boards, which is under Air and Water Act. So there is need for synergy. So that the state pollution control boards are also involved in monitoring and enforcement of environmental conditions given by Ministry of Environment and Forest. Our third proposal is that local community is neither heard nor listened to in this entire process. Our public hearings are not working. In fact, one of the major reasons for resentment against projects is that people are not heard. And we therefore need to create avenues and establish processes which will allow people to participate in green clearances. They must be heard. Their views must be taken into account before a project comes. So we must create processes and avenues and procedures for deepening of public participation in green clearances. That's the most important suggestion, I think, that the government must act on. Lastly, all these things will only work if our institutions have capacity to implement them. Right now, whether Ministry of Environment and Forest or State Pollution Control Boards or Central Pollution Control Board, we have depleted the capacities of these institutions. And therefore, we need a national level program to bring in people, to bring in infrastructure, to build the technical capacities of these institutions. If these institutions are not capacitated, all the reform programs that we are talking about will not work.